Welcome to the hottest podcast in the roofing industry. Get ready to meet the stars of the rooftops, the shingle sensations, and the gutter gurus. Each month, we'll climb up to the top to shine the spotlight on one remarkable roofer who's nailing it. We'll dive deep into their stories, their triumphs, and the secrets behind their sky-high success. Don't miss out on these industry insights, incredible tales of resilience, and the passion that keeps these roofers at the top of their game. Tune in, subscribe, and follow us on this incredible journey as we crown this month's Roofer of the Month.
Hello, I'm Alex Tolle, and I'm back with another Roofer of the Month podcast. We are so excited to honor Mammoth Roofing and Solar for our September 2025 Roofer of the Month. I have Scott Edwards here with me today. Scott, how are you?
Good, Alex. How are you? Good to talk to you. I feel like it's been forever since IRE here. So
I know, it's a lifetime ago. I'm good. Thank you for being here. So go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us about you and Mammoth Roofing.
first of all, I appreciate you guys having me on here. When I got the email, I was like, oh, Roofer of the Month. Let's go. So yes, we are. My name's Scott Edwards. I'm founder of Mammoth Roofing and Solar. We started the company in 2017, and we do obviously roofing and solar, but we do gutters and some other trades. And, as you know, Texas is a really competitive market. So we're excited to be celebrating being in our 8th year of business. And so we're pumped to be on the show too.
Can you tell me a little bit of what inspired you to get into roofing?
So funny story. I didn't get into roofing on purpose. And I always make that joke in my recruiting calls. I feel like there's a lot of people in our industry that just kind of accidentally get into roofing. It's like, well, I'm in a transitional spot for, one of my mentors, he was in the mattress business and it was slow for mattresses. And so he's like, I'll do this. And so for me, I was actually bankrupt, and it's part of the story I talk about, because a lot of people that get into roofing are, for one reason or another, it's just one of those kind of industries where, a lot of roofing companies that they'll take a chance on people that are just getting started in the business. But that was kind of like where I was. I was bankrupt. I was jobless. I was actually really depressed at the time, and I was looking for work. And this was back in 2010. I was looking for work, and I was having trouble finding a job. And I was looking for jobs. I was on unemployment, and my girlfriend at the time, she's now my wife, she was at work, and I called her one day. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go play golf with my buddy today, and I'll talk to you later. What do you want to do for dinner? She's like, I'm at work paying the bills so your job is to find a job, Scotty. Come on, what are you doing here? And so I went and played golf anyway. But at that moment I knew, it's like, man, I'm not going to just sit here and be a bum and, feel like I'm a burden to my household and my wife and my girlfriend, like I said. But so I took the next job that came along. I made a phone call to a guy that I knew in commercial insurance. He knew of a commercial roofing company that was doing some work in Arizona. And he said, hey, their corporate office just got hit with this massive hailstorm. Give him a call. So I call this guy up. He's like, listen, I don't have time to walk you through this. I got, we just had a massive hailstorm hit Kansas. I need you to, if you want to come up here and check it out, I'll put you in a hotel for a couple of days. If not, you don't owe me nothing. I'm like, all right. So me and my buddy, we just got our insurance adjuster's licenses, where we're like, all right, well, we got nothing to lose, and there's nothing to do with insurance license. So we drove to Kansas City that next day. I had a couple of days worth of clothes, and I was on the road with that company for 8 years after that. So I just got into it like that.
What an inspiring story to just kind of feeling like you're down on your luck, and then to stumble into a job, and then here you are, 15 years later, still in the roofing industry. I think that's inspiring for a lot of people who maybe aren't sure what they're going to be doing, or where their career path is going to take them. You could just fall right into something, and it could be your career.
Roofing changed my life, and I'm very passionate about the industry. So that's part of why I do what I do.
So kind of shifting over to the company, what services does Mammoth Roofing provide? And what's your specialty?
So we talked about this, roofing and solars, two main things, and we also do gutters. One of the things that we're looking at some other verticals that we're going to be expanding to, but that's where, where our specialty lies. And a lot of it has to do, when I started in the industry, I started in the insurance restoration business. I traveled the country, lived in different states, and that was what we did. And so this, being able to settle back into home and develop a marketing strategy that kept me from having to travel the country has really been a great, a good thing for us, because that's, I think, what a lot of roofers experience is the road travel. It's, you make a lot of money, but there's a lot of sacrifice, especially if you're chasing hail. But so we specialize in roofing for residential primarily, but we have gotten a lot of requests for commercial over the years, and so we've actually started about 8 months ago expanding our commercial division, and so that's going to be a larger part of our business now. But mostly insurance is what we do, and we're getting a lot of requests now for retail, just because the insurance companies are really tightening up. Those guys in the industry know that.
That's great. It's cool to hear, see the expansion of your business over time, adding in extra services, finding the need and what people are looking for, and being able to expand your business to fit those needs.
I was going to tell you, one of the things that really, and the roofers all know this, but this is something that for us that we use in our recruiting, because I've done so many different things. I was a licensed stockbroker. I was a mortgage banker and broker. I was just like, I want to do something that's going to make me a bunch of money, and nothing's changed my life like roofing. And people don't realize that when I talk about this, it kind of, the light clicks. It's because you're selling something that is direct to consumer. It's large ticket items. It's recession resistant. Someone else is paying for the service that you're providing to the client, and it's tied to something that's really emotional. It's someone's home. It's their castle. It's where the memories are made. And so roofing, just for that reason, is such an awesome industry. And as you guys know, being in the Roofers Coffee Shop.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Can you share a recent project that you guys have done that you're especially proud of?
One of the more recent ones we've done was an event barn right next to the Signature Steakhouse here in San Antonio. And, it is like open table, top 100 restaurants in the whole country. It's a Michelin Guide restaurant, highest standards. I mean, it's an awesome place, and people know about it. When I talk to some of the my friends and family, and our customers, like, hey, that Signature Steakhouse. Like, oh yeah. So we're really proud of that, and proud to put our stamp on it. So
yeah, how cool to be able to share with your friends and family, be like driving by, be like, see that roof? I put it on on such a I'm sure a beautiful building, right?
Oh, of course. Well, and every roofer's wife will tell you that anytime you drive through a neighborhood or drive past the building, it's like, hey, right there, I did that one.
I've heard that before. Yep. I built that building. I put on that
Good
roof.
job,
Yep.
dear. Good job.
That's awesome. What's something unique that your team celebrates, whether that's a tradition, a milestone, maybe a ritual?
So this is something that's really cool and unique about our company. One of the biggest things I think has helped with our growth, and really, because roofing has high turnover. One of the things that really help that has been our culture. And one of the biggest things, and it's two promises that I make to everybody that comes on board with our company, and that is we treat people like family, and that we give them the resources they need. We celebrate that family unity as part of our core values, but one thing that just really brings that all together is this little phrase that we say. It says "Tusk out" here on my wristband, and I make this joke, and when we're talking to people that we're recruiting, it's like my 9-year-old daughter wears these to like church camp. These are like little kids things, but I've only taken this thing off once. It just represents our mission, our core values, and then this little phrase that says "Tusk out," and what it's in reference to. When you ask about tradition or something unique, it's in reference to Aesop's fable, the 4 oxen and the lion. And if you know how that story goes, the oxen were, their backs were facing each other, and so when one of them went off into the field, the lion ate them up, and that story didn't end real well. All the oxen got ate up, but what it means to us is that our tusk face out to face our competitors, to face the world. We get each other's backs. We all have our jobs and responsibilities, but there's no such thing as not my job here. And it's really refreshing to be a part of that with our team. And another thing that they say as we finish our meetings in reference to this tusk out promise that we make to each other, um, it's kind of, outside looking in, it's kind of, I went to A&M, Texas A&M. So like, I'm used to goofy cultures that everybody makes fun of anyway. But this is something really special to us. And I didn't make this up. This is something that my sales team came up with. And it's in reference to that. So at the end of each meeting, someone is like the shot caller, and they say this. So it leads with our family, our foundation, tusk out, never tap out. And that's how we end our meetings. And it's cool because it just reminds us that we're here for a purpose. We have those marching orders that we give each other and hold each other accountable. And so it's really cool.
I love that. I think it's cool to see the kind of like your catchphrase for the company also be tied into like the company name and your logo and everything with the tusk and everything and Mammoth. I think it's great. I love that. And I think it's really cool to be able to have something like that to unite your team and bring them all together. And it's just like you said, the family aspect, like bringing everybody in, treating everybody like family. That's great.
So, I mean, you look at all the different interviews, and when somebody gets this question, it all comes down to kind of the same premise and same idea, and that's that we can be trusted to do what we say we're going to do. And our club members and the people that are involved more, the people that help each other out in this industry, as you know, these are the good guys. But there's a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing in our business, and one thing that people have, it takes a while to build the reputation, but what people know is that we are going to do what we say we're going to do. And what I tell people first is go look at our bad reviews. Anybody can go get a review service, and you can smack up about 1,000 reviews in just a heartbeat. And, you look at our good reviews, they reference specific people in our company. You look at the bad reviews, I'm involved personally. And that seems like a small company thing. This is what really resonated with me. I had a buddy in Dallas, and he needed a roof. And he said, "Hey, Scott, I'm going to get a roof." And he said, "I want you to do it." And that trust, he knows I'm a roofer, and there is nobody else that he would trust with his roof. Nobody. And no matter how cheap they were or how good they said they were, it didn't matter. And so I think what it comes down to is when people say, "Hey, we're going to use Mammoth," they know that it's me behind the promise. Meaning if there's a problem that's going to affect our reputation as a company or me personally, then I'm going to fix it to make sure that we keep that reputation, because there's nothing more important in this industry or any industry, in my opinion. So it's that trust factor of why they would want to use us, because we follow, manufacturer guidelines and codes, and we articulate that, but it doesn't matter what you tell people as far as like the who's and the what's and the whys and the hows and how we install it. All that matters is, can we trust you to do what you say you're going to do?
Yeah. And I think you kind of hit on a little bit that element of being able to, like, the owner isn't unreachable. You're involved in the day to day, you're involved in the business. You can reach out to the homeowner, building owner, and help them if there's any sort of a concern. And I think that's really important, that you're not just up in, owner land far, far away. You're reachable to those customers.
Well, I do want to be clear, like, if that is true. But one of the things that I think is really important is to create systems so that there's accountability through systems. So yes, they can reach me, but before it ever gets to me, if this happens, then we have a contingency. Then this is what we do. And if this happens, so I really appreciate you saying that, but I'd like to think that we've put together a framework in our business that eliminates the need for people to feel like they have to call me without, so we can fix the problem. So.
Absolutely. So we all know roofing is not an easy job. Can you share a challenge that your team has faced and how you overcame it? Maybe what it taught you and taught your team?
One of the biggest challenges, I think, for all roofers, but especially roofers here in Texas, is there's a lot of fakers, is the term I'll use. There's a lot of people that are that either are just getting started in the business. Or there's no barrier to entry in Texas. You don't have to have a license. And so, I tell people, on my calls, like, "Hey, oh, you're a banker today? Grab a hammer, go to your next door neighbor and knock on their door. You're a roofer now, if you want to be." I mean, that's how easy it is. And so one of the things that we challenge with all the time is being able to articulate that trust in a way that people understand that it's not just us trying to make promises so we can get a deal. It's like, "Hey, this is this is the track record. This is what we've done in the past. This is how we built this reputation. And this is exactly how we execute on that promise. So that's always a challenge. And then I think secondly is most companies go out of business in their first 2 years. That's across the nation, but especially here. And when you are competing against contractors that are probably going to be out of business in a couple of years anyway, they got nothing to lose. So it's a race to the bottom when it comes to pricing most of the time, especially with retail. And so just being able to, to train our team to be able to overcome those challenges has always been something that we've had to not overcome, but really just address in the marketplace here.
So why are you an R Club member, Scott? I know we go way back. We met last year at a show, and then I think it was at the RCAT show, right?
Well, there was a SRS event a long time ago that I met you guys at. So
yeah, so we go way back, but you joined the R Club right after IRE this year after we connected. So why did you join, and what's some of your favorite things about Roofers Coffee Shop?
I think it was an RCAT event actually. Anyways, yeah. So for me, one, I don't know if all the R Club members know how valuable the SEO is, like when it comes to backlinks and stuff like that. That's a little bit more technical. We're roofers, so like I've spent a lot of time with marketing, and I hired a marketing pro here, so I wasn't made aware of how important that could be. But if you look at y'all's website, if you take the time, there's backlinks to almost everything in the industry. And if you were to, let's say you want to do research on a particular type of installation or particular product, Carlisle, or look up the Metal Alliance, there's YouTube list of all the different stuff that you can find. So for me, one, it's the network, two, it's access, and three, it's the SEO. So, and the peer networks are awesome because if I have an issue, I can reach out to somebody that I know is one of the good guys, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the resource that we want to be for the contractors is that network. And of course, the SEO is a nice little bonus too, but really being able to connect you to the industry and get to know other contractors and work together on things. That's our goal.
Doing a good job of that.
So looking ahead, what excites you most about the future of Mammoth Roofing? And is there any goals or changes on the horizon?
So I told you some of the different verticals that we're working on, but I think the biggest goal and what really fuels us is, again, and I'm not bashing the industry, but I just feel like a lot of times that people that some players in the industry put profit over people. And whether that's clients or it's homeowners, it's just a feeling that someone is a paycheck instead of a person. And so, I think that if we can expand our reach, grow into different states, grow into what I know Mammoth is capable of, I think we can make a mindset shift in how the industry is perceived. And I think that we have goals to be that big. You talk about some of the people that see what's going on with the insurance changes that are coming, with guys like Adam Bensman, who's got the Roofing and Solar Alliance, like stuff, guys like that are just really focused on changing the perception of roofers and how we're looked at. I think that our growth and getting a bigger market share to show people what it should feel like when you're getting a new roof or you're getting a project from a contractor that's trustworthy. I think that's exciting for us and exciting for me. And that's one of the reasons people come here is for the growth, because they know where we're headed and they want to be a part of that legacy. That's part of that cadence that they say at the end of our meetings, our foundation, so it starts with that. It's exciting. We're excited. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's going to be so cool to look back at this podcast several years from now and, see all the growth that you guys have, how much you guys have grown, and look back at this and be like, wow, we did it. We made your goals. It's just going to be cool to look back.
Well, I'm looking forward to 1 in 5 years when we can sit back down and reference this podcast. Hey, remember when I had hair back then? That was fun.
Remember when I didn't have gray hair? Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Scott, thank you so much for taking the time today. We're so excited to celebrate Mammoth Roofing and Solar as our September Roofer of the Month. And again, just thank you and congratulations.
That's a wrap on this month's episode of Roofer of the Month. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll catch you next time for more rooftop celebrations. Make sure to subscribe and follow the RoofersCoffeeShop.com podcast page for more. And go to RoofersCoffeeShop.com or AskARoofer.com for more information.